Absent a sense of the preciousness of one's own life, why respect the life of anyone else? The voice that whispers, why not die, is not far from asking, why not kill? Indeed, one in four youths who commit suicide injure or kill someone else before their suicide. Nevertheless, most people would agree with Riki that life is heavier than the heaviness of all things. We feel strongly that every human life is uniquely precious without being able to explain just why. Philosophers are no less stumped. Philip Foote, a professor emeritus philosophy at the University of California, Los Angeles, wrote in Moral Relativism that she knows of no philosopher who has ever been able to explain the value of human life. Reading hundreds of philosophy tomes would bring us no closer to an answer.
Okay, very good. So
And one more thing.
yeah,
Okay.
um, yeah. Did some parts stand out to you?
How true it is. You know, it's, we never, we hear a little bit, if we're raised in a church going family or even not, we hear little bits about what a miracle human life is and how special we are. We're the most intelligent species on the planet and uh, blah, blah, blah. But we're never told why. Why are we so precious other than the obvious? And that leads to, well, if you don't know how valuable your life is, the things that a human being can do, then you have no regard for it because
Mm-hmm.
there's no root, there's no foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and without that foundation, we wander around lost and I'm sure this generation is just like mine. You know, so much of us felt unattached. We just felt like, well, they tell us in catechism, well, that sounds great, but come on, really?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because nobody followed it up with, okay, you're precious, you're special, your life is significantly wonderful. You
Mm-hmm.
have a purpose. Well, nobody gave us a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Just do what you're told and shut up. Yeah.
Yeah. So the sense of the preciousness of one's own life is absent in many instances. So people don't regard their own life or the life of others with respect. That's why there will be wars. There are wars because this preciousness of every single life is not being clearly taught or felt or explained or understood. Yeah. Or they think some lives might be more precious than other lives. That also means the sense of the preciousness of one's life is absent, you know, because it's either regard for all lives or none. Because
Yeah.
you cannot pick and choose. If you're picking and choosing, that means you don't know your own value 100%. You're segregating, you're not integrating.
It's true.
Yeah, so humanity is in the dark about the preciousness of every single life. So people even justify taking animals' lives because they think humans are on top of creation, but not really. So we cannot be on the top if we don't even know the value of life. And
And that's
so,
such an absurd. I've seen animals and birds show more compassion for their fellow creature
Yeah.
like when they get hurt or something, the mother will, like a lion cub, the mother will risk her life
Mhm.
to keep her baby safe from being killed,
Mhm.
and I'm sure there's a few instances of that
Mhm.
in the humankind, but
Mhm.
it just doesn't seem to be
Mhm.
real prevalent.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So we are very grateful to have the opportunity to listen to the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha that teach us all lives are equally precious. Right now, we happen to have been born as a human being, but in a past life, we could have been a cat or a dog or a cow or a chicken or any myriad of those life forms. And yeah, so in this way, we don't put one life above the other. But that understanding, it needs a lot of reflection. If people's mind is too noisy and they're too distracted, it's all over the place, they cannot hear this message of the Buddha that all lives are equally precious. So yeah, so we need to have, yeah, read this kind of passage and invite people to share their thoughts, and we listen to them, and have dialogues until there is more light in the world, and light will always prevail over any darkness. So yeah, thank you, John, for reading and explaining. Good job, everyone, for being here. Today's Thursday. We're gonna read the Tiger Book and Atomic Habits at 8:30 a.m. and also 3 p.m. and Morita Sense's class at 5 p.m. And have a wonderful Thursday, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Be seeing everybody. Be safe.
Be safe. Take care.